Three, two. Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. You are now tuning in to episode 64 of the Off the Menu podcast.
Damn.
I am your friend, your host, Key, here with my brothers, my co-hosts, Moose,
Wayne,
and Tay,
Hello, everyone.
and a special guest, a very special guest. I am happy to introduce to you Kobe Cannon of MC Provisions, entrepreneur, go-getter, big stepper going.
Man, I'm ready for this one. I've been waiting for this episode for a while, actually.
We excited.
Ever since you jumped on our radar, I was just everyone has just been like, yo, work with Kobe. I was like, man, he's kind of far. And at that time, I was like,
Yeah.
let's see what happens. And then I took the trip out there recently, as you guys can see. You got my hats on. I got some T-shirts on for Women That Strikes.
Crazy.
Keep it.
But then, I was like, let me go ahead and do this and see what we can do. And it was just a 40-minute drive. I honestly didn't feel like it was 40 minutes from where I live.
Ogden is not far,
It's not too bad,
Yeah.
but I get it. A lot of people are like, yeah, like I'm in Salt Lake, you're in Ogden, but more people I think are willing to like make that trip or, give it a shot.
For the quality of work you are putting out there, it's worth it. That's all. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, appreciate that.
No,
It's
for
the
sure.
talk of the town. Everybody that goes through you, dude, they're like, oh, dude, he's the best.
Yeah, we know a lot of people
shows.
who do use your services too,
Okay.
and they have like nothing but good things to say.
That makes me happy. I
bro.
want nothing more than that for sure. So that's awesome to hear from you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're excited.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and get into it before we get into it.
As always, before I forget, we got IT technical support in the back. Sifu Yin going. Crazy.
You got scared. You gotta
take it
everyone's
easy.
jumping now. I'm usually used to one of them, but now he wants to.
fucking threes, stacks.
Oh man,
Dune Part 3.
the Messiah, huh? That's what's gonna happen.
That's our Messiah right there.
But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Episode 64 Off the Menu podcast. Would like to thank Kobe for being here.
Thank you for being here, bro.
Yes.
Thank you all.
This one we couldn't wait for. As clothing like designers and creators, you have been putting out some of the most amazing work, and also
Yeah.
put together your own festival to do printing and like support locals. Like,
That was hard.
that's
That was
crazy.
hard.
That's
I
probably
like
one
that.
of the things that I looked at, and I was like, man, he's actually doing something that no one else is doing right now
Yeah.
for the creative space in Utah, right?
Right.
And I appreciate that you've been able to give opportunities and create opportunities for yourself in a way that that showcases your work, because that's the one thing that we started to learn over the last few years. While you work with screen printers, you work with embroiderers, and the one thing you have to always remember from a creative side is that they're gonna do what you want them to do,
Yeah.
as long as you give them the full instructions.
Right.
And if
Yeah.
you give them free will, then it sometimes doesn't come out the way you want because you didn't give the instructions.
Right.
So I've utmost have the most respect for what you do, and
Absolutely.
as a creative, and what you've been able to put out. But yeah,
Yes,
let's
sir.
go ahead and get into it.
Yeah.
For the viewers, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Kobe Cannon, and like you said, I'm a screen printer out of Ogden, Utah. I love making clothes. I've been doing it for probably like 6 years by now. That's what got me into
Going
screen
crazy.
printing, and yeah, I love everything about it. Genuinely,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you go dummy at it too.
I really do appreciate that. Like I think
Crazy.
that's like one thing that like you were saying, kind of like with like the festival, and like I like kind of doing my own thing. Like I feel like that's one thing that like sets me apart is it's not necessarily like about me. Like obviously I want to be the best, I want to be the biggest, but like
course.
I'm trying to show like the world and everyone like what everyone around me is doing, and
Right.
like putting the spotlight on like these smaller brands who maybe don't always get like the attention and reach that I feel like they deserve, because I work with like some crazy people who are like local, and I work with people like across the country, but like some of these people are like making 5 tees or whatever, and like they're just going crazy with it, like the designs, like, and so I just feel like anything I can do to like kind of get that attention, that spotlight onto like more deserving people, like
Of course.
that's all I want to do,
That's
I
huge.
like that you say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not about you. It's about us.
Exactly, pretty much, yeah.
From the heart.
That might be the new slogan. Yeah.
And then for the people that don't know too, it's like it's hard for people that are coming up that have no idea what they're doing
Exactly.
to like work with screen printing companies. Because you know, like you have the guys that make the smaller brand things. There's those like big companies where there's like, we just need employee gear, but it's like 2,000 pieces.
Right.
Yeah. So it's really cool that you're out there like doing stuff for even guys like us. It's freaking awesome.
I'm trying to, and like I want to be like another resource, and like even if necessarily like you don't print with me right this second, or you know you just kind of want like some feedback or like some input on something, like I just want to like kind of like be like that one stop place, like you can get like that one-on-one direct communication, like something yet bigger shops or bigger people like won't even care to give you the time of day, or you know just straight up ignore you. So I really do take pride in like, as much as like I want to work with like the big guy, like I care about like the little guys just as much, you know, because I mean I started from nothing, and like those small orders are like what kind of got me to like this point. So you know, I want to just keep it going that way, you know.
Right. And I want to touch on that a little bit because for those who don't know, if you've never worked with a screen printer before, there's always some minimums. 32, some are 72. What the fuck?
Crazy.
72. Crazy. You know, and these are bigger companies that will definitely know how to get the work done. But what I like about what you're doing is that's like one of the first thing you advertise right on the bio is like no minimums, which that helps out tremendously for some of these guys who just want to test the waters and try clothing out and things, right? Which I really like that's something that you really advertise and put out there. And, you know, I'm sure those, you know, I'm sure it's not ideal to do the smaller quantities, of course, but the idea of it is just to help everyone grow, right?
Exactly. Like I mean, I've been there, done that. Like I've had to order 24 shirts of like a 5-color front, 5-color back, and for those that don't know, like that's gonna get pricey. The more colors it is, like the more pricier it is. And like I'm basically putting out this money knowing I'm not gonna like make it back, but like just want to make something cool, and so. Like I'm willing to like do whatever, like, you know, obviously like we'll charge accordingly, and like we'll try to find like a middle ground, but like if you're willing to do it, like I'm willing to like help you out basically.
Of course. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like you run deals all the time. So that should be like another spotlight that you in a way give back to the community as well. Like you do end of the year. You just did one in February, the whole month of February, 15% off. Sometimes you do like free tags throughout the month.
Oh yeah.
Crazy too. Usually we have to cut our own tags. He cut the tags for me. And that is amazing. That is go to Kobe, go to MC Provision, go to Art. That's
here first.
Hell yeah.
Tell them, man.
But it's like the little things that like we look at as like we never ever ask like, you know, screen prints or anyone to cut those for us because obviously that's just an extra add-on. But
Right.
like I wasn't expecting you to cut it, and then like the other day you were posting an order and you had all the tags laid out on the floor. You were cleaning them up or something. And I was like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna do that for mine too. And then you brought him today, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So thank you for doing that as well, because like that's just that's just what takes you above what. From my perspective, what everyone else is saying about you, that just took you to another level, because everyone thinks you're already amazing. That just goes to show that you're willing to do what you got to do.
Exactly.
Go above and beyond.
I think it's weird almost that like when people don't do just like that feels like just simple to me. Like especially like you want a printed tag, like why would I keep the other tag on there? You know what I mean? Like it's different if like you're not printing a tag or whatever. You're like, hey, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, fold them up. But like even just simple as like folding up or just going through like little stuff like that. Like it's crazy how like everything seems to have like a price point. And like obviously I get it from, you know, being a business owner. You got to pay your bills, you got to do your thing. But like some of that stuff that's just easy and doesn't take like any extra time or like effort, like why not just do it? You know what I mean?
Bag and tag, that's a $1.25 each.
Oh,
at some of these other spots, you know. So.
And which we don't mind paying. I didn't expect it.
Of course.
Right. And I was just like, wow, okay.
That's little things.
Yeah, it is really just the little things that takes it above and beyond where what we look at from the creator's perspective.
Yeah.
So once again, I applaud you for that. Like those little steps that you take make you stand out from everyone else.
I appreciate that. That's like what keeps me going for sure. On like those hard days, those big orders, I'm like, all right, you know, you're doing it right. Just keep it going. You know?
Of course.
Like you just did a order, like because we were talking and I took my stuff and you just did an order of 500. Right before mine.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa, that's like he didn't like mine was only like 16 shirts, but that's the range though.
Yeah, right.
That's the range.
That's what
that
I mean. Like I'll do 1 or I'll do 500, and I tell people that like jokingly, but I'm literally like, here's like a perfect example. Like
Yeah.
One day I wrapped up a 500. Next day I'm doing a 16-piece order. Like,
Yep.
Was that a one color, two color?
it was like 5 different designs, but one color. But like front, back, neck tag, bag and tag. So it was a little bit of extra, not just like a simple print and pull. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is it just you doing this too?
The printing, yes.
Yeah.
I do have some help with like, the maintenance, kind of cleaning screens, doing that. But like everything printed, that is done by me manually.
That's nice. That's impressive.
Yeah, that is
crazy.
And like the one thing I want to talk about your work too is that the reason that everyone keeps saying that you stand out is that you're willing to take not just like that little steps for the extra mile, but your printing, the way you do your printing, the way you're willing to do like anywhere on the shirt.
Yes.
You're willing to figure it out.
Yep.
And that's the one thing everyone like, I know I was referred to you by my cousin Bobby, and he was just like, Bobby. Shout out to Bobby because like he's low key in the city doing a lot of stuff for a lot of the creatives.
He is.
But he's been pushing people towards your way. And I was like, okay, let me go work with Kobe. Let me go get this figured out. And I'm telling you guys 100% right now, if anyone creatives there in Utah, they want to get stuff printed or starting a clothing brand, try out Kobe because he's willing to work with you and he's willing to figure out stuff that some other companies won't do unless it's for a high price, item.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And not to say that Kobe won't charge you, but go to Kobe because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, come correct.
Right.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. Make sure you gotta be communicative.
he's like, don't worry about what I'm saying too much. Just fucking go to him. Okay. You want to do something? Do something with him. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing this like professionally?
I've been full time it'll be 3 years in April, but I worked at a shop. Like I had a pretty bad accident, so like that took me down for a little bit, but then I got back into screen printing through like another shop. So like like about 4 years. I've been printing for like 5, but I was just in the shed kind of messing around. But like seriously, probably like 3 years, 4 years. Had that little break, but other than that, like I've just been going strong with it.
Okay. So you started off doing the screen printing for other brands and businesses first, right?
Yeah. So it started off like what got me into clothing is like, like I made, obviously what got me into screen printing is I was making clothing, but then I was going to shops and they would take too long or the minimums or the price point. Okay. So I decided I'll just kind of do it on my own. And me and my friend had this brand that we did together and we just kind of made like, $5 tees printing on like the kitchen sink and everything. And so kind of got into it that way. And then I was like, well, let's maybe make this a little more serious. And then I just started doing it. And then my girlfriend's brother, Hunter, has a brand, Beware. And that was like my first like official customer that I like printed for. And then word of mouth has been like the biggest thing. And it's just, slowly spread from there pretty much.
And you just had one of the manual dudes? Just like
just
screen.
a little like Amazon, like $150.
The one that we have.
Exactly. Yeah. The one that everyone gets to start off with. Yeah, exactly. I was there. So
that's funny.
Like I was like, let's just take this off the kitchen sink and at least get a little something, you know? And then I was like, and then obviously I realized like the machine's probably like the most important part. So over time, just slowly upgrading, got like a really nice one now and just been slowly upgrading from there pretty much.
Would you say it was a challenge to get everything started, doing everything the right way and making
I'd say yeah. And especially like being like self-taught. That comes with like a lot of bad habits and like working at like that shop. I realized like, whoa, like I was doing this wrong or, oh, wow, that's an easier way to do this. Right. So I probably feel like I had like a lot of like rough moments and probably lost a few people at the beginning because, went through that struggle. But I'm grateful for it now because like it's almost like cool to like go back and see like what it looked like and how it was and like where I'm at now. And like it's as shitty as it was at the time, I'm like, grateful obviously for like those, and I can look back and like, yeah, I've really like put that time in and like done something with it,
That growth.
In the beginning, it doesn't feel like that's all right?
No, yeah,
right.
You're like, oh wow, this is awesome. I'm making my own shirts. But then, I look back 5 years later and it's like,
I made those shirts.
I made
like,
those.
Damn, I really made those.
I think about this shit all the time. I'm like, ooh.
Exactly.
You spent money to make that?
Yeah, exactly. You paid someone else to make that. Yeah. That's another one.
That is pretty crazy, man. I feel like you're really good at what you do. As far as the quality and like I feel like you got it down to a science now. Cause I feel like every t-shirt I've seen, every crew neck I've seen that come out it's like, sometimes we've worked with some screen printers who a little thick, little slathered on and shit, and the consistency is a little kind of crazy. So, feeling a lot of the ones that I have from Bobby and some of these other ones, amazing, bro. amazing.
That's truly amazing because like literally like I feel like as soon as I print a shirt, I like hate it like right after. Like I'm just so like nitpicky. Like even like where I'm at now, like I don't know, like I'm literally trying to just get better every time. Like even if it's a simple thing or it's a full color like manual simulated process type thing, like I just want like everyone to be better. So I feel like I just really take that pride in like trying to just like focus on that detail like every single time, like it's my first time pretty much.
Yeah.
I get that too. Sometimes I look at something for too long.
Exactly.
That I made. I'm
Yep.
like,
Right.
fuck, I hate it now. But I'm
Pretty
like,
much.
shit, we can't go back.
No,
And then
yeah.
It drives
And
me
usually
crazy.
it's not even like as bad as you think. Like you just said, you've been
Of
staring at it
course.
for so long,
Right.
or you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, like you're getting your head, been a long day or whatever. But like, yeah, it's usually not that deep.
Yeah.
And then did you do something like before screen printing too? Were you like an artist? Because just the way that you think, it just sounds like you had to do something else before this.
Literally, no. I was trying to like get to this point, working shitty manual
crazy.
labor jobs. Went to college for a little bit, did all the things, and then I was just like, oh, clothes are kind of cool. Maybe I'll just try it out, and then just started kind of designing, Photoshop, sketching stuff up, and then that kind of like brought me to this point. I have like such a creative mind, so like it's cool that I get to just like make clothes and make shirts like all day with like different designs.
Yeah,
but then
right.
it inspires me, and like I always like I have so many ideas for myself. So I'm like, even if like my personal brand doesn't like blow up, like I just use that as like a creative outlet, just because I have so many
Of
ideas
course.
just constantly going.
And it's big because you're the guy that knows how to do it.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's like a lot of guys, a lot of designers were just idea dudes.
Right.
Like idea guys that just try to get something at least digital. Is the
Yes, and then
best way.
sometimes you realize digital can't always replicate like actual. So yes.
We've been through that so many times.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
We're like, can we get Seth Rogen and James Franco kissing on a motorcycle on a T-shirt? And then we got a DTG'd and it looked terrible.
Direct to garbage.
It wasn't terrible. I wore it. I wore it to the Kanye one, the Pablo tour in Vegas, and every person complimented me on that shirt.
It was a dope shirt. Could have been better.
It was.
Everyone loves DTG.
Yeah.
I hate it, but
I don't fuck with
there's
DTG.
there's a place for it. There's
Yeah.
some things that you need it, but I'm gonna screen print everything if I can, obviously.
And then once again, that goes to show that you've been able to do stuff. Like you've been able to make stuff that looks like we need to DTG, but
Yes.
you've been able to
Yeah.
screen print it.
Right.
And that probably comes with like the years of working on it because,
Yes.
and I wouldn't have ever thought that would have been a process because once I started following you and started watching your stories and what you've been sharing, you share a lot of notes that people need to start taking because as a creative, because there was like a Photoshop one that you shared just recently, like 2 weeks ago, and it shows the difference between the Photoshop and what it looks when you. And there was also like there was some DTG stuff you were talking about, and like how you can put it into a screen print, and that there's a possibility to be able to make it happen. So once again, extra mile that you've been able to show and for people and put out the work for it too.
Yeah, there's definitely like I've gotten designs in the past even where I'm like, oh yeah, there's no way. But now I'm like, you want like a full colored like sunset with like a Porsche at the bottom, like you know what I mean? Like I'm like, let's do it. Like I've obviously it's over the time like I've gotten like the skills and knowledge to. Because like the most important thing with like stuff like that is like separating it because each color is like is like a screen.
I was gonna
like,
ask about that.
Yeah, you basically have to like separate it, and so like I've learned how to like manually do it, and then I have like some software that kind of helps you, and so like you got to like tweak stuff. Like it never like like I mean like I always have to like manually adjust stuff, but like if it's like possible to screen print, like I'm willing to do it basically.
I noticed like some of the guys that we've worked with in the past, they only do stuff off of Illustrator, and I've had some fire ass designs in Photoshop. And like, you're gonna need to color separate that for me. And I'm like, I don't know how to fucking do that. So I'm like, I had to scratch the whole thing because the dude doesn't know how to do the color separation on Photoshop. That is probably, I mean, I still to this day, I'm still trying to figure out how to color separate on Photoshop.
Dude, there's so many things.
It's
to learn,
complex.
bro.
It's
There's
complex.
so much. Yeah. And that was like another thing that like got me into it too, is when I was first making clothes is the guy would literally be, cause I work in Photoshop mostly. He's like, I'm going to need you to separate it, or I'm going to have to like you're gonna have to pay to like get it separated, and it's like, you like, again, you'll pay for it, it's nice and it's helpful, but like being able to like have that like skill, then you can like physically like control like the colors and the blends and everything. And if you need to make any adjustments, like even for just like graphic designers, like I've had people be like, do you want me to separate it, or like, do you have a preference? And like, I think it's a great skill to have, just as far as like being able to like break down a design and kind of know like, how to make it. But like, I would personally like to do it just because I like you have to like set up the halftones like a certain way. Like, you know what I mean, it's just like a full process. So it's like, I'd rather like you just give me the image and like I'll take it there, but it's a good skill to have. You know what I mean?
When you're talking, it sounds like those Photoshop tutorials on YouTube where they're just clicking through shit, and you're like, I don't know what shortcuts you're using.
Right. Like, following, but like I don't know this button, I don't know that. Yeah,
I have
probably
that.
just regurgitating all the ones I watched throughout the years trying to learn.
I have the biggest problem on Illustrator right now because I don't have everything set up like everyone else. And so when I'm going and learning these things off Instagram and like TikTok and stuff, I'm like, bro, I cannot figure it out because I don't know what you clicked into. And then when I click into it, it's not what I have. And I'm like,
it's, you definitely have, there's so many ways to go about it. And plus, I was working off CS2. I had fucking Adobe, like the one that was still on the disc. I got it from high school. It was a high school course and they just gave it to us for free. I was using that shit. It came out probably like 2002. I was using it like
still going.
Yeah, it was still going on fucking 2017.
Yeah, you have
bro.
like tools that they don't even have. Like everyone's like, hey, you have this, and you're like, I don't have that. I don't have this.
Somebody would see it on my laptop. I was like, is that Paint? I'm like, bro, it's Illustrator.
It's Photoshop, bro. What do you mean?
It's vintage Illustrator.
is that Paint?
This is some growing.
Is that where all our designs came from?
Every single design came from CS2. In the beginning, if you have a shirt from 2017 to 2019, that shit came from the CS2 laptop. Baby.
Going crazy, man. CS2 days, man.
I know. Now I'm up to date, and I gotta pay for that shit.
Yeah, that's the problem. That shit ain't cheap.
That shit is not cheap.
Nope.
Subscription based only. So
$45 every month.
I'm tired of everything subscription, bro. Like I think about deleting Hulu all the time, but I'm like, the Bear's on there. I can't do it now.
You delete it while the bear is off, and then you can bring it back.
Dude, it's always on. It's
no season 3. You don't need.
Season. I rewatched that shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
yeah.
I don't get me started. She's amazing.
Yeah, but I kind of want to go into some other stuff. So you have your own clothing brand, Disruptive, right?
Yep.
And is it apparel at the end of it?
Yeah, that's
just the
Instagram
tag.
names
Yeah.
are hard to find nowadays.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was clear. That it's just disruptive.
Disruptive. Yep.
Hard, by the way.
Yes, everything you've put out so far has been pretty dope. And
Really
you also brought us some gifts that we're going to show you guys.
Oh,
it's
I
a
forgot.
mystery
I
box.
fucking forgot.
I had some leftover stock, so I brought what I could.
Ready? Okay. Oh, dude, we got a couple goodies in here.
Yeah. Like I said, I tried to do what I could.
We got some shorts right here, baby.
What I really like about what I've been seeing on the Disruptive Instagram page is the logo flips, bro. I'm like,
That's my favorite,
I'm a
bro.
I love doing the logo flips.
The rips are the key.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you got
It's
the
my
Motor
favorite.
Disruptive on right now, long sleeve.
Oh, damn. I'm taking this one.
I got you.
Yeah,
It's an XL.
and you've just been putting out just like you just keep
Hard.
putting out stuff too. Like you some
Trying
of
to
our
stay
favorite
consistent.
logos too. You've
Yeah.
been able to flip it and make it something. I was like, oh man, I wish we would have did that.
Bro.
TV.
Yeah,
Hold
that-
on. Hold the
that
phone. Hold the
one's
phone. Hold the
hard.
phone. Hold the phone.
Phone hold.
This fucking hoodie is the nicest hoodie ever, dude. This fucking
I really like the
heavyweight.
quality of
Feel
this.
this.
Whoa,
It's,
this is heavy.
I don't want
that
to
shit is Michelin star. What the hell?
Oh man, you know how to gatekeep, man. This is,
made blanks for the win.
Yeah.
I'll put
this,
you all on
this
game.
is a made. Now we get a
Bleep
feel
it
that
out.
made
Bleep it out.
one.
They don't want to know. They don't gotta know.
We need this blank, Sifu. I want this one.
Yeah, and
I
that,
want this
there's
blank.
that's a good one too.
You have to order them before this episode comes out because all these bitches are gonna be ordering.
Yep, they're gone. They gone.
And almost in a way, I was almost like in a comparison for what you did because Blank obviously started as a clothing brand before,
Yeah.
Right.
and that's what you were trying to do at the beginning. Then you kind of like, no, I think I can do the other side stuff, and figure that out. And you
Yes.
kind of became really good at that, and that's what Made did as well. They started off as a clothing brand, and then everyone kept asking for their blanks,
Right.
and then they were like, yo, let's just sell blanks.
Wait, you were selling blanks too?
No, he was just
no.
like he was
Okay.
They was trying to start a clothing brand at first.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
okay.
And the same thing with Made. Same story. Like they were trying to start a clothing brand. Everyone kept asking about the work.
Right.
Kobe was trying to figure out how to do stuff himself, and then he was able to figure it
Okay,
out.
no, that
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense. I was like, damn, you do blanks too? I was like, bro,
I would love to. That's
yeah,
like
that's hard.
I'm trying to get to that point because like there's like I have like my favorite blanks, but it's like I like this T-shirt here, but this hoodie here, or these sweats
Right.
here.
Same with
And
us.
yeah, so it's like it's nice, but like when you have to order from 4 different sites, like
Yeah, it is
money-
tough.
money adding up.
We run through maybe 6 sites to get
Exactly,
everything, and
yeah,
like
just to get exactly what you want.
I-
This is part of the grind.
Yeah.
you know?
The one thing that sucks though is like as a creative and like trying to sell clothing is that you always have to find everyone's nitpicky about the clothes, right?
Yeah.
There's always going to someone that's going to complain about the
Right.
stuff. So
Yep.
there's no perfect blank, no matter what you do.
Right.
But as creatives, we can kind of figure it out and see
Find
what
your
we can
perfect
do. Yeah.
blank or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe Kobe can create the perfect blank for us, and we just keep going through him.
Oh, I think I've got a pretty good like touch on it. Like there, but like I said, like I like this made hoodie is like my favorite, but like I might change this about it or whatever. But
Right.
like yeah, I'd like to think like if you have any questions or concerns or whatever, like I can point you in the right direction. Like if you want the thick oversized box, like that's in right now, or
Right.
some people still like this skin tight shit for some reason. But we got
Super
all
long,
those blanks.
super
Yeah, we
skinny.
got all those.
Under
We got all the range.
All right. Top 3 blanks that you recommend.
We'll
Great
bleep them
question.
out too.
Oh, that's easy. That's way too easy. I'd say Made Blanks,
Yeah.
Los Angeles Apparel, and
Don't go
Shockaware.
crazy. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
just simple.
Those are all up
probably
there.
the 3 big dogs, but
Yeah.
I don't think they get as much better than that. But I definitely like have my issues. Like the LA Apparel, like they have like their sizing's always inconsistent, kind of,
Yeah.
and like they have like weird dye marks and weird shit. Like
And they don't go up to like 2x.
yeah, like or they have 2X, they don't have 3X, or like and
Yeah.
so I don't know.
We
but
had issues with LA Apparel or at least I had issues where people just didn't like the
neck.
yeah, the
was
thick
thick neck,
neck,
you know,
choking them.
yeah.
Yeah. Especially like for
I
the
like
females.
That. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
totally
I
get
like it.
Yeah, I totally get
I
it.
like it, but
too,
some of the
personally.
customers that I have for LA when I was using LA, they were like, "Yo, that shit's choking me, man."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
No
like
shade,
the
Los
Shaka.
Angeles Apparel. If you want to, we have ad space. like if you
Saying,
want,
yeah, they should be sponsoring me with all the business I've been getting too. So
actually, yeah. What the fuck, Los Angeles
hit me up
Apparel?
on IG at mc.provisions.
tell
please.
them, man.
These
tell
guys
'em.
just don't care. They don't care.
Nope, but they'll care when I send them another big order, right?
Going back to Disruptive Apparel, is this something that you started on your own, or is this with friends? Or?
Yeah, so I started making a clothing brand like 5 years ago, and that's where the name MC Provisions. Like my first brand was MCP, and just hated it. Was kind of dumb. Just felt like I wanted to like make stuff, and like the brand didn't really match with it. So I stopped that like end of 2022 probably, and then I was like, I want to like start this new brand that I can just kind of like, I want to do like jumbo prints or just crazy shit or multicolor, like kind and like not care. But obviously I ended up caring, like, cause I'm just, passionate about it and
Of
everything.
course.
But I just was like, I kind of wanted to like start fresh basically. So I started that just last January. So it's not too old, but I just was like, let me use this as like an outlet, and like, whether it blows or not, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just like my outlet, and I can finally like make those ideas and not feel like weird or like I have to like tie like a brand like MCP
Right.
behind it
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care about like the branding as much with these. Like, I kind of just want like the graphics and everything to like speak for itself. you know?
Right.
Man,
That's true lifestyle wear.
it's so
Yeah.
crazy because you're saying that stuff right now, and that's exactly why I started doing the Win Midnight Strike stuffs again, because
Yeah.
we have More About Nothing as our main clothing brand, then we have
Right.
the off the menu stuff, but then every one of us has an individual brand as well. And then I felt like over the last month or so, I felt like I haven't been able to like stuff as a creative outlet, because
Yes.
when you work in a group, it's like we all have to agree to stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so all the designs are amazing when they start to get put out.
Right.
But it's like, man, I want to do something else. And like I
Yes.
want to do something that fits my style, because once again, it goes to having a brand identity and like
Yep.
what you're able to do. So the disruptive stuff, like for you to be able to just be creative and do
I
whatever
fuck
you
with
want
it.
to.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Plain and simple. I'm like, and like, I know it's not for everybody, especially some of this stuff, but I'm like, I don't give a shit. I like it.
Yeah.
If you want
Right.
it, take it. If not, like, I'm just going to keep dropping, and keep going from there.
Right.
That has like it's how it has to be.
Yeah.
Like, for your own sanity, because
Yeah.
all the feedback,
Right.
a big or small, it's gonna stack up on you.
Totally. And I know it's
Yeah.
like, it's probably harder for someone like with me. I'm grateful that like screen printing is my business, my full-time job. And like, I have an income that I can like rely on, but like
Right.
the kid who's like, man, I just want to like make clothes and has that shitty job and like they flop or, the sales don't go as well as they want. Like, I know, cause I've been there, like that's when it hurts, but like, you got to just try to remember, like, you just like what got you into it. Like, it's just fun. Like you just want to make
Right.
stuff that you like, and try to like not like make it so political and keep like the financial
Yeah.
part
Yeah.
out of it. You know,
That actually that's super important.
We
Sorry.
literally tell everyone that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's never when you're making clothing, you're not going to become rich.
It's
off
not
it.
about money.
It's not about money.
not
It's about you
money.
being creative and having
Yeah.
stuff to put out in the world. And
Exactly.
it goes to us having now a digital footprint and a physical footprint now. Is
Exactly.
the art.
Yep.
This is our version of art, right?
Exactly.
And it's just important to enjoy what you do, because when I don't do anything for a little bit, I get a little grumpy. you
Yeah.
know? Like
Yeah.
I'm not, or I get like agitated. It's really healing to just make something. Like everybody has kind of their own form of it, and I think
Right.
if you like graphic design or making clothes, just do something, even if it's
Exactly.
small. Like it just makes you feel good. Like honestly,
Yeah.
This is our playground, man. This is the
Exactly.
creative
Yeah,
playgrounds
that's the
where we
biggest
just
thing.
play around and you know do some shit, right?
Yep.
Which is really dope, man. I think it's super player though how you do the screen printing and you got your own brand. Like, bro, I would be in the lab going crazy,
Pretty much.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
exactly.
going crazy.
Yo, I
crazy.
think about it every day. It's like if I didn't have a 9-to-5 job,
Yeah.
I'd just be like
Yeah.
fucking just whatever I want every
I'd be
day.
screen
up,
printing all
yup.
day,
I know.
doing some shit.
Sometimes I wish now I'm like the orders are too big to where I
Yeah.
can't just be like taking that time. But
Right.
like obviously I still can just be like, yeah, I'll push this order aside. Let me make my shirt right now, and then like
Right.
you know, I'll get back to this other stuff later. Like
Yeah.
that's like the best freedom is just kind of like, well, I want to make this today, so let me do it. You know.
And that actually brings up a question that I was wondering too. Was it hard to kind of separate when you're doing it 24/7? Like you're around clothes, you're around designs, you're printing shit, like you're doing this all day, every day. Has it been hard to kind of like keep that fire going for the passion while you have kind of the work?
I would have to probably say no, and I think it's only amped it up. Like I'm in Target, like stretching the shirt, seeing if they're cracking. I'm looking at all the screen prints. I'm like, I'm just so dialed in. Like everything clothing, like I'm just checking it all out. Like I feel like it almost like inspires me more, and I'm like, oh, I saw that, or oh, I don't ever want someone to like go up to my stuff and be like, ooh, look at that, or
Right.
So I genuinely feel like it just lights a fire in me, and it probably. It's like a bad thing because like I'm like at the shop 7 days a week, like if I can, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I try to like give myself like a break and some time, but like I just genuinely get like so motivated to just like
Right.
let me
That's
just go
sick.
work, you know? Like it doesn't feel like work at the end of the day.
That sounds like a healthy obsession.
Yeah, I'd say. Some might disagree, but you know.
It's okay.
We get it. We all get it.
We all get it
We
here.
understand.
We're all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat.
This is a safe space.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't look over there.
No.
Just past the cameras.
Yes. Exactly.
When I edit and stuff, I'm like, man, I need to do like 10 reels tonight. She'll be like, you don't have to do 10 reels.
Right.
And I'll sit there and be like, no, I have
Like
to.
I got to kind of.
I have to. And then like it's like moments like, okay, she had to work from home today, and so I was like, oh,
Right.
now I can't edit and do reels. I should have did it last
exactly.
night.
Yeah,
See?
she wants to like hang out now,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. There's been times where I had to like leave dinner once to like go get blanks, and like I've had to on like Thanksgiving we had to run to my shop, and like you know what I mean. Like I'm just
Hey man,
it's nonstop.
we
basically.
say it all the time on here. It costs to be the boss.
Yeah,
It costs to be the boss.
It looks fun, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And shout out to the ride or dies. Okay,
Yeah,
if you're out there
absolutely.
ride or die,
Shout out to the
Shout
ride or
out.
die.
Shout out to
Not
them.
the
The
one.
support
Stick
for
with it,
everything,
yeah.
for real.
Oh,
because sometimes it's not easy. My
Nope.
lady's like, "Are you coming to bed tonight?" I'm like, "Not tonight."
You weren't even going to the bed in the first place.
Well, sometimes I'm like, I can cut it off, but there's other days I can't cut it off, and I'm
Right.
like, turn my one lamp on. I'm putting my headphones in. If you
See
need
in
me,
the
text
morning.
me.
Yeah. But don't.
She's like, I can hear your music still. I'm like, let me turn that down.
It's like, do you really listen to the Batman soundtrack that often? Yes.
Yes, you do. You do. I
It
even.
gets me in the zone, guys. Perfect. Great. Danny Elfman, Michael Giacchino, fucking Hans Zimmer. I got you. Either way. So,
We talked about. So you said you started off in the kitchen. We're now talking about you being in a shop. How did you get to kitchen to shop, bro? Like what exactly was that process? Were you starting in the shed to the garage and like worked your way up to the shop, or
Yeah, so like, you know, started with kitchen or whatever, and then had a shed at my mom's, and that's when like I bought the Amazon press, and I was like, okay, I need like a little more space. I can't just be like doing this in my kitchen, you know.
Right.
Got a few more screens, got some ink now, you know, starting to build things up a little bit, and then just like kind of started there, and then it was like, ooh, let me move into the garage now, you know, a little more space. I I was like running a freaking extension cord from like my house into my shed, and I was like had like a lamp on when it would get dark. Like I was like
That's crazy.
legit like going through it, and then I was like, okay, like I need to be able to print at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. So that's when I was like garage, and then basically it doesn't feel like overnight, but it almost at the same time feels like overnight. I was just like, wow, like I can't just like keep this stuff like all these like these boxes of clothing in my room or in the shed, like. You know, like my mom's got her Jeep in here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just be like having everything up. And so I was like, it might suck and it might be like tough, but just do it. And so I just did it and just kind of like trusted it. And I'm grateful and thankful that I did. But like, it was hard and stressful, definitely at first to like make that leap. But that's when like I worked at like a screen print shop before this. So I had like a part-time job, and so I was like I had like a little bit of income if like I can't pay my rent, or you know what I mean, or if the orders are a little small, but then I just like I kind of like slow, like I feel like I jumped off the like edge, but then I also feel like I kind of slowly did it, and then when the time is right I was like, okay, boom, let's just jump right fully into it.
Good.
Yeah,
that's dope. So now in a whole new space, it just like it adds to it, right? You feel a little bit more professional. It feels like more or less like an actual job, like a place, an office, right?
Yeah, and I think this is like my third shop in like 2 years.
Wow.
And this is probably the only one I felt like confident and like comfortable in. The first one I did was like just off of like right off 25th Street, like in Ogden. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but it was literally like a rundown like apartment complex, and there were just a bunch of people kind of running. I had like a suite, so it was like my main room was like this big probably, then I had like two more like about this big. There was like a kitchen, you know what I mean? Like it was not like a screen print shop. And then I moved into like this garage, and I like knew a guy who was like renting his garage, and I thought he was like going to give me the full garage, but then he was still like renting half the garage. So like I had to worry about this dude like walking in while I had like customers and clients and like
crazy.
So, and then like, you know, he'd be there when I wasn't there. And so then I was like, yeah, I got to get out of there. And so then I got like the full shop. I got like 2 garages now, like office space. Like there's just plenty of space for like everything and room to grow. And so I finally feel like I'm at a good spot now, at least, where I don't have to move in like 6 months. You know what I mean?
Oh, that must be a good feeling. Sure. I can't even imagine.
It feels
that.
good.
Yeah,
definitely.
I would feel great.
Yeah.
Like getting into my own spot like that. Like I'd be like,
pretty much. Exactly. Yeah. Just, it's mine. I don't have to worry about nothing. Like how I leave it is how I'm going into it. You know what I mean?
And honestly, that's probably why you love being there 24/7.
Yeah.
Like you have to have a place that you love to go.
Exactly.
And want to be there.
No. Yeah. And like there's, you know, obviously there's hard days for everyone, but like genuinely when I wake up, like I'm like, okay, now like this is what I do. I go and I like watch podcasts and make shirts all day. Like how bad of a life really is that? You know what I mean? Like, so I try to just like not like get too deep into it and like go back to like why I started doing it. Like just making clothes. I wanted to be my own boss, and like here I am. So I try not to get like too deep into it, you know?
Right.
Just take it day by day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Try to.
Yeah. Man, that's so crazy that 3 shops in the last 2 years. And then like when I went up to the shop, I was like, man, I just barely saw it, but you had boxes stacked up. Like, I'm pretty sure that was like a good space for you to be in, because the fact that anywhere that you can ease your mind, right? And like no one else, you don't have to be bothered by anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about the Print My T-shirt festival. Like, how did that come to mind? And then how did you put it out physically? And then how did you get the brands that you did get to do the first one and the second one?
Yeah. So, like I said, been making clothes 5-6 years. Went to so many events, like Salt Lake, like 5 years ago, I feel like used to be like popping. Like there were events like
pre-COVID,
weekly, monthly, like even like so there was just constantly stuff going on, and I was like slowly like started getting like more affiliated with like the Salt Lake scene, you know what I mean? I knew some people, and then like I was just constantly going to like events and pop-ups, and I love it. Like I love like an event. I love a pop-up. Like there's nothing better. Like selling online like sucks, you know what I mean? And like most people just want their stuff right then and there. So like it's cool just to be like here, boom. And basically I would go and like I'd be in a corner, or like there would be 4 rooms, and like there's like performers here like doing music, but then like the clothing's like all the way back here, and there's like no lights on it, like or it's just crowded, or they're not even promoting like the vendors, or there's like 30 of them, but there's also like a concert. And so basically I was like, I hate like I wanted to like make like the perfect experience. And so I took like all of those bad experiences and I just tried to like make it the like best possible thing I could. So I was like, all right, perfect. Let me just start with like some local brands. You know, I hit up some people, some of like the closer homies, and then like some more people that I've kind of been working with for a little bit. And I was just like, hey, I'm gonna do this event just for like people that like I print for. Like it's like invite only, you know what I mean? Like that's like where the name came from, is Print My Shirt. Is it's literally for brands and companies that I print for. Yeah. So the first time I think there was like 12. And then the second time there ended up being like 16. So like it's just it was the first one was last year in April, and then the recent one, how was it, January?
January.
Yeah, January. And so, you know, I'm not too far apart in like 2 years. Like it's kind of crazy just going from like the first one to the second one, like just like the growth. But basically just had the experiences and just didn't like it. So I was like, let me just try and like showcase in the spotlight like the brands and like people around me, and just try and get some people out and get some more eyes, get some people some sales, make some people some money. Like that was the biggest thing for me, is like just people being able to like reach a new audience or get a new follower, you know, just something like that.
That's huge for anybody that's like participating in any type of event. Like the smallest and even the fewest interactions mean the world to like all of us doing that, right? So that's huge.
Yeah, the pop-up space has like been the best space for us. Like we really haven't done anything online. But we, you know, the pop-ups is just always amazing to us.
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing with that. Like it's cool. Like I would love to have thousands of dollars of sales online, like for sure. But nothing beats the intimacy of a pop-up and getting to meet people who actually fuck with your shit, who like it, who's asking prices, who's like, wow, this is really cool.
Want this.
Like, I want this. Like how much? Like, do you have my size? Nothing beats that. Nothing beats that at all.
I agree.
You're face to face and you're just like, I made this. You actually like this?
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially when you don't know them. I'm like, this blows my mind.
Because we all know how it feels when you get that sale online. You're like, ooh, you know, you get that little giddy feeling. But like when you literally see someone like, no, I want this, and I'm gonna give you my money and like, take it from you.
Exactly.
Nothing better than that.
That's where I shine. That's where I shine.
Exactly.
Dude, this guy's the best.
That's our.
I got you.
Lead marketing, lead salesman right there.
Perfect.
Yeah, we just did the sneaker convention, and like, I think it was the most eye-opening event that we've done as far as like a public event, because we usually do like private pop-ups or we do stuff with other people, but this one was like we didn't know how we were gonna do and how the turnout was gonna be. And shout out to everyone that showed up, because it was that Saturday was snowing really bad. It was a bit snowstorm, and
it was crazy.
But
it was
everyone
crazy.
that showed out, and we were sitting there watching people look at our stuff. I'm like, man, this jacket's dope, or this shirt's dope, and I was like, man, this is a great feeling, because like, when you start a clothing brand, a lot of clothing brands like live off their friends and family for support.
Exactly.
Thank God for them that keep pushing us, because all of that, without
super
them,
grateful for them.
Yeah,
super grateful.
But it's like amazing to see that we can actually do it without them and have more opportunities outside. Because that's the one thing we get scared of as a clothing brand. Is like, is anyone gonna buy our stuff? Or people gonna like our stuff? And now we feel that we can do stuff. Now we feel like we can take on the world.
It's the ultimate level up, right? Because your friends and family, they're always going to buy from you. You always can count on them.
You can guarantee that.
Yeah, you can guarantee they're always going to buy your stuff, right? We kind of did the sneaker convention, not without anyone knowing, but kind of more like, you know, let's try to not get the fam to come, and let's try to get some actual
just
real
like the random
consumers to like
people actually there going to shop, but not necessarily for you or coming to you.
Exactly, right. And it worked out fairly well. We got a lot of new faces, new customers, which was really
super cool.
Yeah.
And got to see old ones too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Homie at the All-Star thing.
Crazy.
Yeah, bro, that was so sick.
We're gonna have to get that dude on, man.
Yeah. Well, the backstory. This guy, we this is our first time making shirts again after a little hiatus.
First drop.
Yeah, the first drop.
Nothing.
It was a Valentine's Day and then All-Star shirt.
Yeah.
But we were wearing our All-Star shirt at the feature event. And this guy's like, he comes up to me. He's all like, oh my God, that's the sickest shirt I've ever seen. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. And then I go tell these guys because I'm hyped. And then this guy over here, he's like, where's he at? And I'm like, and then I look over and I see him and I'm like, he's right there. And then this dude's like, takes off his shirt. He's like, hey, bro.
Gave it to him off the back.
Yeah, all right off his
Right
back.
off the back, man.
And then,
because that was the first dude that noticed anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was during All-Star. Everyone had All-Star merch, like merchandise, something. He was the first dude to ever like, yo, that shit's fire. So I was like, you know what? Here, bro. Like,
Oh, yeah,
take
that's
this.
so
You can
And then
have
we
this.
saw him at the sneaker event, and
And
it was
I-
like a nice
Mhm.
reunion, bro.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
dope.
nothing better than like a new customer, but also like a recurring customer who like
Yeah.
it just
Mhm.
continuously like comes back and
Absolutely.
supports,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
especially when it's not like a homie, it's like just some random guy who just constantly
Yeah.
supporting you. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely that dude. I don't even
Yeah.
know his name like that. I
Well,
don't-
we got you on IG, bro.
We'll find
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
We'll
the
find
IG,
you, bro. I'm
exactly.
sorry.
Yeah.
You just shirt dude to me right now.
You did stick out though on a weekend that a lot of
absolutely.
things were
Mhm.
sticking out. That was the one story we can keep telling people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And because we were all
Right.
there, and we were just
So
like,
beautiful.
"Is he taking off his shirt?" He got his wife beater under. He's like, "Let me go ahead and let me go to get this to the guy."
Go crazy, man.
And actually, something that I want to just comment about, like during your the fest, is that you're probably looking around at all the vendors, and you have like such a monopoly over them because you're like, I made every fucking shirt. I can destroy them as fast as I can make them.
It's kind of crazy, but yeah. I mean,
Whoa!
this is my empire, right? Like,
He's like, why is this booth so high up?
I know, yeah.
Why is
not
there a
the
throne?
thing, yeah. The first year, I feel
Game
like
of
I was
Thrones.
like so like trying to like get everyone on that. Like I put my booth in the back and like all my festival stuff at the back, and then I was like, this year I'm like, yeah, let me put me at the front and kind of we can share the love a little bit.
Right.
You know, like,
Yeah.
it's your event, but like I'm here too at the same time.
Yeah, yeah,
Of course,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah, and you do like little things that add on to it, like big thing actually. Like you do a live like t-shirt printing, right? And
Yep.
Oh, that's
like
fire.
that's got to be like
That's
a great
fire.
feeling. And when someone walks
Yeah.
up, is like, man, for a consumer, you get to see how your stuff is made. That's
Exactly,
gonna be a
on the
good feeling
spot.
because I would be like, man, that's tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. hot
Yeah,
out
it's
the
really cool,
press.
and a lot of people like brands and companies even like started to like hit me up to like do it at events for them or like
Yo.
for their brand, and I'm like, yeah, like let's do it. I love doing it, whether it's for me or someone else. Like it's just gets me out of the shop, but like I'm still doing it. You know, interact. Like yeah, I love it. I welcome it. I want to do more. Like for sure.
We're gonna have
Oh.
to tap in.
yeah, let's
We're
do
gonna
it.
have a meeting
I-
after this.
I want to work with you.
Because the biggest
Yeah.
thing for me was that I always tell the story why we got back into it is after we had made a trip to ConferenceCon in 2022, and they had that stuff there. They had embroiderers there. They
Yeah.
had screen printers there, and I was like, "This is so fire! You can just take your tote bag up and just put whatever they have on the board
Right.
and just have it printed there." Or the embroiderers are like they were doing like crazy things too. They weren't just doing simple stuff. They were doing like stuff on the hand, like the hand part of it. And then, like, they were doing stuff just in, like, tiny parts of the corner. And they were just doing it right there. No charge or
Exactly.
anything. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, come get your bag printed. And I was like, man, we need something like that in Utah. And then, long and behold, in April the following that year, you were the first one, like,
Yeah.
starting getting
Going
into it.
crazy.
Right.
Going crazy with it.
Mhm.
I want to do something like that, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
I love interactive anything like that.
Exactly.
And that's like the most interactive you can get. Like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
literally letting the customer personalize
Exactly.
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
whatever piece of
Dude.
thing they're
just pick
getting,
it.
right?
Here,
which is-
what do you want? Where do you want it?
Right.
Perfect. We'll do it. You know, simple as that.
Then
Yeah.
they'll take it around and be like, I made this shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, that would have been me 100%.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened during All Star Weekend
Feature.
at the feature booth.
Mhm.
I seen someone with a hoodie. They were like, "Oh yeah, just go buy a Nike hoodie, and then you can go over there." And I was like, "Okay, shoot, like I'm definitely gonna do
Right.
that." And it was dope. I really like stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We need more stuff like that. I think.
I think so
I
too.
know.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're getting there in Utah. We'll like, you know, the fact that we even all the guests on the podcast, everybody's doing something, which
Yeah.
is really cool. When you look at all these individuals, and it's like, oh, everybody's like trying to make something happen, and it's just a matter of time.
Right.
And then now, I mean, especially with Kobe, like you're one of those guys doing it too.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to like basically like I look at like the LA print shops and like those people, and I'm like, that's what I want to bring to like Utah.
Of
like
course.
I want to bring like the streetwear aspect, because
Yeah.
every screen printer is like some old dude or some mom and pop who like they've been doing it for 30 years, but like they're not really with the times.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And so
Absolutely.
yeah, it's time to like get those people out the door, and like we'll show them like how we're really about
Yeah.
to come. You know,
That's so true.
Dude, it's
That's
so sick.
It's so crazy that story because like
saw
when puff print was like barely started popping up and everyone started doing puff print, it was like 2018 or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was started getting really popular, and then I was like, man, I'm gonna go get some puff print. And then the guy working in the shop, he was like, "What is puff print?"
Yeah, we
And
don't
then-
have a print.
And then he was like, "I don't know what that is," and he was trying to figure it out. And then when he got the first puff print sample, and I was like, "Okay, this isn't puff print."
You don't know what
Yeah.
puff is
Yeah,
still.
yeah,
Got
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And then I just ran off it, see what we can do, and then maybe I went back to him like a year later, and he was like, "I know how to do it now," and I was
Right.
like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like you
Good
kind of
for
just
you,
teach
man.
him, right? It's like that's
Yeah.
cool. And then I went with my first puff print tee, and I was like, it was actually my first tee for this one. COVID hit,
Right.
and I couldn't even release it. So
Right.
Free samples for everyone that comes through the house. There you go.
Well, I gotta give it up to that dude specifically because he was willing to work with us and try all of those different things.
Willing to
He
just
wasn't
at least give it a shot. Yeah.
right. He wasn't the dude.
Yeah,
just,
he was like, no, I can't do it.
Right.
Because we've heard that a lot. In the business of what you're in, a lot of people are going to say no a lot.
Right.
And it's like placements or puff print or like, and now that stuff is like really popular. So like, I'm surprised not a lot of shops are doing that kind of stuff that want to make them stand out.
Right.
Well, I mean, just as you said, a lot of these guys, they're not really making clothes for like streetwear and brands. They're doing like Chick-fil-A's and Texas Roadhouse.
Most print shops
and,
are for like big chains and companies.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So to have people who pay attention to detail, like the stuff that you do, willing to go the extra mile and do a big oversized print and you know put them on like the littlest places, the littlest spots and stuff it's refreshing, man.
It is.
It's like,
it is.
man. Like we've gone through so many. It's like why can't you? Why
I know
can't
exactly
you do this?
why.
Like why not? You want to charge me another $25 for this?
Yes.
Right? It's crazy. So I mean, shout outs to you, man.
Thank you, man.
Shout outs to you.
I'm really just trying to, like, I don't like if you want to do it, like I'll do it. Basically, like I rarely tell people no, and it's more so when it's just something like crazy or it's like a 13 color print and they want a one shirt, and I'm like, yeah, just go bother a DTG guy with that one. Right?
There's a kiosk at the mall.
Exactly. Yeah, go to Gen X and get it e-pressed on.
That's on TikTok now. It's kind of pissing me off a little bit. Like DTG everywhere, the TikTok shop. It's just like, oh, I can give you this $5 shirt, and it's a DTG or a, I don't know. They're like peeling some shit off.
The DTF.
Yeah.
It's not the
Direct
DTF you want it to be. Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm like, it's back again for some reason.
You gotta be
but in
careful, man.
Stronger form. It came back.
Well, it's just because now there's such a market for it. Like everyone owns a Cricut, everyone owns a printer.
Yes.
Like it's just accessibility now. Like especially in 20. Like we look at. So I'm pretty sure all of us have the same ads on our Instagram or Facebook. It's the same DTF, DTG guys, and it's like, oh man, like I don't know how this guy here. I was looking up screen printing, and it's like, boom, it's like. Get your needs here.
That's why it's so important to know the local guys that do it, because when you go online and try to get this stuff online, they will get you. Like, you get your money. They'll get your money took.
Oh yeah.
You know, they'll do some DTF stuff and claim that it's something else.
Well,
right?
we'll screen print, but it's like not a screen print.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So that's why it's very important to try to get tapped in with like your local Kobe, wherever you are. You know, anybody that is willing to do the things that you need to do, and where you can physically go in and check the work out, or you at least get some photos back or something and go pick it up the next day.
Most people like and I think another thing I like take pride in is like that one-on-one, like even as big as like I'm growing and like I'm still getting to that point, but like I'm obviously much bigger and busier than I was 2 years ago. You know what I mean? But I think one thing is like I will still answer that DM. I will send you that test print. I will go back and forth. I'll send you that ink color. Like it sucks sometimes, and I have a 300 piece order that's like waiting to be done, but like I'll get you what you want. Just so I'd rather like save the headache of like, hey, I hate these, or hey, I want a refund, or that's not what I wanted. Like we've all been there, done that, and like I'm obviously not perfect, but like I try to just do everything I can to like get you what you want, and if it takes like, you know, an extra text or message or phone call, like I'm willing to do it.
You're saving yourself the hassle.
Exactly. At the end of the day.
Yeah, you've been like really communicative like throughout the process. I remember I was gonna do a shirt like back on my birthday.
Oh yeah.
In November, and I was like, oh man, we had come up with the idea to print the shirt, and like we only had a week to do it. And I was like, let me go see if I can get through Kobe. And like you responded like maybe 10 minutes right after I sent it to you, and most. And usually that doesn't happen. Yeah. Like as a usually big business, they'll get to the email like maybe like 6 hours later. Yeah. You know, and like even talking to you like previously before we were shooting the episode, like you were just talking to me about getting my shirts on, getting my hats on, and you sent like every detail about it. Yeah. Showed me the tag, showed me the hat, showed me the print, and I was like, man, like I literally got everything in one go, and I even forgot to ask about it. But he was just like, no, I'm right on it. Here, let me send it to you real quick, and I was like, okay, cool.
That's impressive.
It's like muscle memory. I'm like, yep, send a pic, show this, show that, and then boom, send it off. You know,
she was the wife was like, what does your hat look like? And I'm like, I showed you, and then I literally you posted the video today, and I was like, this is what the hat looks like.
Here's the hat right here. Yeah,
going crazy.
That's just so much labor, man. Like that's a hard work. Like, fuck, I can't even. It's like, okay, I'm thinking out loud right now. Dude, it's like it's the like actual manual labor, printing the shirts. You're like answering things. You're like laying shit out. it's a lot of bandwidth, man.
I'm glad you like see that
Yeah.
because like,
dude, bro, yeah, shit.
like everyone's like, oh, this, that, and I'm like, I'm trying.
I'm a little. I'm a little too. What's the word? Like when you're compassionate,
Compassionate.
just sympathetic, compassionate,
Sympathetic.
I don't know, something like that. Empathetic, or to a fault because they're like, you're just too nice, Moose. It's like they're probably having
There
a
you go.
hard
You're
day.
just too nice.
Yeah, right.
They're having a hard day. They're doing a lot of stuff, man. So it's a lot of shit, and the fact that you can get to it, it's honorable too. Yeah, like how, even if you can, how do you relax?
He's like,
Yeah, this just slower.
He goes in the back. He's Zen gardening, but it's like just a squeegee.
It's like everything I do is some sort. I'm like mixing like ice cream, and I'm like, this is ink. This is the Pantone I gotta mix tomorrow.
He's like cutting bonsai trees, and he's like, "Hold on, are you
Like, this color
are you
doesn't
cutting
look the
tags?"
same. Yeah. Genuinely, like I've just learned or trying. Like I'm still in the process, but I think I got a lot better. Is like I just try to like shut down. Like when I'm at work or when I'm at the shop, like I'm locked in and I'm working. But like once I leave or like I'm clocked out. You know what I mean? Like I try to just like clock out and like, okay, maybe I'm not gonna answer DMs or emails or texts because like there's some days where it's like whether it's Instagram, email, text, like people just throughout the day are like constantly blowing me up and like. I try to like respond, but then like there's times where I'm like, okay, like there's just a lot going on. So like, let me just take like the rest of this night.
Right.
And like, I'll get back to it tomorrow. So I guess just like when I clock out, like I try to clock out. Like I used to be the dude who I'm waking up at like midnight. If I woke up and I had a DM, I'd be like, let me hit you back real quick. You know what I mean? And then you're up for another hour because like the person's responding or like now your brain's like awake and you're just constantly going. So I try to just shut it down, the best I can. Like try to just relax, throw on some comedy, whatever, chill out. But like, just shut down like when it's time to shut down.
Yeah, that's important to do because even like 9-to-5 jobs could feel like that too. Like you come out of work where you're like, shit, so much happened, and I'm like thinking about it.
Exactly.
Which is I've struggled with that for a while now too, but
I think
I've been a lot better.
I think it's almost worse when you have your own business, when you are your own boss.
Yeah.
You're like literally the only person that you can rely on, right?
Sure.
In most cases, so. I mean, I know the feeling, bro. So you always got to ground yourself somehow.
Exactly.
you're taking phone calls all hours of the day.
Bro.
That's what, and I'm pretty sure you're going through the same thing.
Yeah,
like,
right.
So there must be like a tough place to juggle, but applaud to you guys for being able to run a business and like get to where you guys got to get to.
It's crazy.
Yeah, got to do what you got to do, of course. But like, don't forget, like, I'm like, yes, I'm like a business owner, but I'm like, I'm not different than anyone else who's working a normal job. Like,
right.
Sometimes I feel like I'm on like a different level and like I owe it to like my customers or everybody. Like I gotta respond, I gotta get back to you. But like sometimes I just gotta like take a step back and be like, you're human, like if you don't respond right away or if you take the day off, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, so I've been really bad in the past, but like I definitely feel like I'm at like a healthy spot, like with this job, with this career, even like if there are weeks where I'm working 7 days straight, like, you know what I mean? Like I still feel like I'm not working like that full time pretty much.
Yeah, you take a little hour for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, that's all I need. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. You got to find ways to ground yourself. You got to find ways to get yourself out of that work mode, right? And whether it be going home, kicking it with your girl, kicking it with family, having a nice dinner,
right?
Laying your head down for whatever it might be. Lay down, watch movies, shit like that, right?
Exactly.
That's all you really need. Then you can get back the next day, you feel refreshed.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you need
good.
that.
Right.
You work better when you are like refreshed and like, relaxed and like
And then also sometimes like life just can get past you. Like,
Yeah.
you're just working all the time.
Very true.
next thing you know,
Like a year has passed. We've been doing this for a year now, right? Like, and it just went.
yes,
Like,
exactly.
like we're just like, oh shoot, oh okay, and then I realized I was like, all right, I'm gonna slow down, like personally, just like stop to smell the flowers every once in a while. So I'm like right there with you, dude.
Because like either way, it's gonna keep going too. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna wake up tomorrow. Like the shirts are still gonna be there to print. Like you know what I mean. Like they're not going anywhere.
Absolutely.
People and like most people, like and I try like I try to be like upfront and be like, okay, like it might be a busy time and like it might be a little longer this time, but like I try to at least like communicate and let people know like I am a one-man show and like if you do want to come to me, like I'm all about it, but like you also just got to understand like you're not my only customer and like I'm growing, I'm getting busier, I'm getting bigger, so like it's kind of like finding like that balance of like setting that boundary for like other people, but like also like yourself.
Of course, absolutely.
It's just about being present because people forget like being present just means right now.
Yes.
Like
Right.
something my girl told me that I'll never forget. She was always just like, do you have to deal with it right now?
Yes.
Is it happening right now? I'm like, no.
See, that's like her biggest thing. Her thing she always says to me is be where your feet is or be where your feet are. God,
Yeah.
I'm speaking incorrect, but yeah, be where your feet are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like what's going on right in front of you, right here. Like none of
Right.
that. Don't worry about any of that. Be here. Go from there. You know
It's
what I
so
mean?
crazy how it's
Absolutely.
like we have to relearn that.
I know, right?
In this day and age when we're like phones, fucking work, everything, emails,
Yep.
just like, and then you're always thinking about then and before.
Yes.
Sorry,
That's both the same thing.
future, future
Past
and
and
past.
future.
My bad.
Then and
No,
before.
It's true. And you're going to get to points in life where you're going to have to like, oh shit, like, okay, I'm getting out of it again.
Yeah.
Like, let me come
Yes,
back. Or,
yes.
like, let me bring myself back in.
You know what's a good note for me? It's like, and I take it from you too because you guys are always taking pics. I looked through my phone, like I think it had to be a couple months ago. I was like, there ain't no pictures in here. There's like months and months have gone by. There ain't no pictures. There ain't no memories. And I'm just like, oh man, okay, yeah. So it's like those little reality checks where I was like, shit. Yeah, I need to
Exactly.
just appreciate a little bit.
Thank
better.
God Jennifer loves taking pictures, man. I used to be like really on top of that, but you know, with everything going on, the business and everything,
Yeah.
it's like it's been hard to like really take that moment. Like, so yeah, I need to get back to that too. You know, it's nice to get back and capture those small moments.
Yeah.
Going crazy in the car, rapping, freestyling, going crazy. You know,
Exactly.
Follow him on Snapchat.
going crazy.
Freestyle Friday is coming back soon.
Freestyle
By
Friday.
Keela.
Sunday sounds.
Wheezy K.
So I wanted to talk to you about something because I was going through your two different Instagrams and I came across your bio and I came across the podcast Water Under the Bridge. I had a second to listen to like a few of the different episodes and I was like, wow, I really want to talk about this. Can you give our viewers a summary of kind of what that Water Under the Bridge podcast was about? Talk about that a little bit more.
So it was in 2020. So like before, like I started working at that other shop and, you know, started my own thing and whatnot. I was working for this company, True Green. You guys familiar?
The lawn care?
Like lawn care, exactly.
Ah.
Oh yeah,
TRU
that was me.
Green?
Yeah.
okay.
That was me,
right.
spraying lawns, keeping weeds out, all that shit. Like,
Oh, man, you know how to do
that?
that?
Was the best.
I might need you to come through.
I retired now. I retired from that. Yeah, like,
You hold on.
no, yeah, retired from that, but I was the best. And I'll just
He doesn't.
Oh,
he doesn't. He doesn't offer that service
Like 4
anymore.
years
You
too
just have to
late.
teach
Yeah.
me, honestly.
Perfect.
We'll get to your story, but I have a funny story after.
So yeah, so I was working for that company and I was like the lawn guy, but also like the tree guy. So like I would inject trees with fertilizer, you know, boring shit that doesn't really matter. That's just like a summary of kind of like what the job was about. So the company's based in Ogden, but my route was in Logan. So I would drive from Ogden to Logan
shit.
every day.
Yeah, okay.
So I mean, it's an hour drive, you know, to and there.
Right.
And I was having to get like all my stops done and like account for the drive and everything, whatever. So one morning, just, you know, normal day to day, just going, do my route. And then you guys familiar with Sardine Canyon?
It sounds familiar, but I
Yeah,
don't
just
know.
one of those like scary, sketchy canyons, you know, like when it's snowing and shit, like people like don't go there. Like, so it's just like sketchy as is, but like it was perfectly like, you know, fine weather, like early morning, like nothing too crazy. But long story short, I fell asleep behind the wheel and I crashed into a semi truck and I broke both my femurs. I broke my right tibia, tore my right patellar tendon, every ligament in my left knee was gone. Fractured ribs, fractured like bones off my spine. So basically had to like relearn how to like walk again, do all that. And so it was just like, I felt like I, like during that process, like it was hard for me to like, almost like look at like the next day, like I couldn't move. I'm in a hospital bed. I was in a hospital bed for 3 weeks.
Right.
Like, you know, can't do anything. Can't even drink. I had stomach surgery. I had like 3 stomach surgeries, so I couldn't even eat or drink or anything, you know what I mean? So I'm just like whittling away like in this hospital bed and like as like shitty as it was, like I knew it was going to get better. I knew there was going to be a time that like I would get back to doing what I love, like clothing and like screen printing, like that was like still like all in the back of my mind. And so I was just like, this is just like another step basically to get me there. And so like throughout like the recovery process and everything, like I just felt like super like motivated and like people were motivated like by my progress because I made a separate Instagram, Kobe Strong 10, if anyone wants to like, you know, do the full dive on it. I did that, and like I was just like kind of showing everybody like where I was at, and they were like, "Wait, you like broke your legs and tore like everything like."
Right.
4 months ago, and I mean, and like I was already like walking with like crutches and like slowly
Wow.
just so like
Damn. That's crazy.
basically like I just like I had like this motivation, had this dedication to like and determination like to get back to where I was, and then I saw people were like motivated and inspired. So I was basically like, for those of you that like don't know my story, like this is kind of what happened. This is where like what got me through that, and like this is kind of where I'm at now. So like so many people like, and then so many people like knew my kind of story because like, and I was like obviously screen printing at that point. So like I had like people on like my Instagram like DMing me, and like she had to like my girlfriend had to like go on my Instagram and like DM people and like let everyone know like I was in like a serious thing. So it was kind of like a bigger thing than like it would typically, you know what I mean? Because I'm running a business and whatnot. So I had like all these eyes on me, and so I just had like a lot of people like basically just telling me and like inspired by it. So I was like, I want to just like share this and like have this out there just for like the next person going through something. I mean, it doesn't even need to be like a fully traumatic injury, just like when you're down bad, like just knowing like there's better days ahead pretty much. So I was like, well, like I've always had like a liking to like podcasts, and I was like, let's just give it a shot. It's kind of, simple to get it going. So just kind of did that and did like 18, 19 episodes and just kind of shared the story from like where it happened to kind of like the up to date of like more so where I'm at now. Like I think about times of like going back and like even like kind of like bringing it on again and like having people who have been through stuff and like talking like to them through with like, like through stuff with people, or like kind of like going back. Something like that. Or like going back and like, sharing more of like where I'm at now. Cause like even when it ended, I felt like I was still just like recovering and like, even though like, I mean, I hurt like every day, I can't do a lot of things like I used to do, you know what I mean? Like I'm in a great place. Like I feel like I'm in a good spot to like tell people like you put that work in, like you literally can like do anything you want.
Wow.
Like, pretty much.
That impact would be nuts for somebody that needs it, that's going through that. Cause I can only imagine how hard that is.
Yeah.
And you named every part like with anatomy terminology. So I was like, yeah, they definitely was tough shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, one time, bro, thank you for sharing that with us. Because like I was going through the Instagram and I didn't know about any of this stuff until today. And I was just hearing all the good things that Tay's been telling me, that Bobby's been saying, everyone that we've seen have some stuff come from you. I was like, wow, like this, I'm more excited to have you on now. It seems like you're going really strong. It seems like you're doing really cool things, really picked yourself up really, really fast. So kudos to you, man. I really wanted to say that.
I appreciate
I'm glad you're here today.
You. Yeah, genuinely.
And, we're glad you're okay, bro.
Yeah. Thank
Everybody
you.
go check that out. That story,
It is an amazing story because when I first like read into it and I started following and like looking into the Kobe Strong stuff, and I was like, man, like you were pretty much being told that you wouldn't be able to walk.
Yeah,
like, they were literally.
They were. Yeah, well, they were like, it'll be a year or two, or you know what I mean. And like, there's just so many things that like you won't be able to like do again. And I was just like, well, watch me, I guess. You know, we'll see what I can do.
And the fact that you were just in the hospital, like thinking about screen printing still, the shows goes to show that you.
There's like videos, like Snapchat memories, like her and my mom, and like I'm on like Photoshop, and I'm like telling her because like I literally like. Probably like a week before my accident, like printed like a new collection. And so I was like showing her and like my mom, like, oh, look at this new collection. She's like, you already did this. And I'm like, oh, my bad. I was in like
my bad.
I was in like a medically induced coma too for 9 days. So I think that probably had some little brain fog when I woke up, you know, but yeah.
What is being in a coma like? I'm just curious. I'm sorry for asking. This is stupid.
It's, I don't know. Genuinely, like, I just remember kind of waking up on a hospital bed with 2 braces on my legs, and like here I am. So I genuinely have no idea.
Really, it just went to black and then wake up.
I remember like everything. Like so, when I'm like literally sitting in the semi truck or in my truck, like what crashed. You know, like my full like cab is crushed and everything. I'm trying to like get out of the truck. Like I'm trying to like push out, not even realizing like my legs are broke. I feel like my leg, my femur came out of this thigh. So like, I'm like, I can feel it. Like I can like physically see it. And so I'm like, literally like, oh, I'm like good. I just got to get out. Like I was more so like, oh, like I'm in trouble. I did something bad. Like, you know, like that feeling like, I gotta get out.
Right.
So I was like that. And like this semi truck, like another one like pulls up by me and he's like, hey, are you good? Like need any help? And I'm like, oh, I just need to get out. And like, I was fully like conscious. I gave him like my dad's phone number and I was like, here's this. And like, I talked to my dad and I told my dad, yeah, I'm good. Everything's fine. And then I got life flighted and like, I slowly remember like them like cutting off my pants. And like, then I just, next thing I know, I wake up 9 days later and I'm in my braces and my hospital gown. So that's kind of like the disconnect, I guess. Yeah.
Oh,
man. But big applause to you for really getting
man.
through it,
For
showing that you
back.
can get through it, you know,
thank you.
and just putting in the work because like you jumped back into physical labor. Like
Yes.
you came in,
Yeah,
you're screen
right.
you're
Yeah.
walking around like
standing
and
all day.
most people don't know that you went through the accident, that the
No.
things that you're doing
Right.
while after the accident, they're going to tell you not to do that stuff. The stuff that you've been able to prove,
For sure.
it just goes to show like as long as you have the strong will or belief that you can do it, you will get through it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for you to share your story and like the story's out there, guys, like go check it out for real because it's really inspiring to see from your perspective now, like being able to speak with you about it
Yeah.
and to see that what you have gone through and where you're at now is truly amazing. That you went through 3 places, you've been able to work for other businesses, and do your own festival. Like,
Yeah.
really, that's inspiring. That's got to be like truly inspiring for a lot of people that are listening. Like, if you guys are going through it, just remember that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to figure out what that light shines.
Yeah.
Right.
It's different for everybody, but
Yeah.
find like your why, you know what I mean? And just don't ever like let that go and just stick to it. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, you know,
Absolutely.
you'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you said you were working for like a company,
Mhm.
right? You know, doing this stuff. Like who would have known? You know, who would have? You know, where would Kobe Provisions be still?
Yeah.
working
Yeah.
at
Oh,
True Green or
exactly.
something like that. You know, so it's like life is crazy.
Life is
Yeah.
crazy.
Life
Life
is
is
Yeah,
wild.
pretty
crazy,
much.
y'all.
Yeah.
It's super wild. You know how things happen.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but we're glad you're okay, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Thank
glad
you.
you're okay.
Genuinely.
You look good, man. You know you're putting in absolutely the most work out here. You know, so keep going, man. We're rooting for you.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
We're
Really
rooting
do
100%.
appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. Did
Yeah.
we miss anything? Is there anything else?
Well, I was going to tell my True Green story.
Go ahead, tell them. Tell
I
them.
didn't want to bring up the past and stuff, but no, it's when you as an adult. When the one thing when you start learning as a homeowner is that lawn care is the biggest thing to your house.
Yeah.
Take care of your lawn, guys.
Take care of it.
Be active with it. And they're like, and True Green was the first place like I was like messaging, and they were like, "No, we can't do that. We can't do that." I'm like, "This is so weird that there's someone on chat telling me we can't do certain things." And I was like, "Okay, so I won't go through them." And then I went through this different company, and they just did everything for half the price, and they did everything that True Green said they couldn't do. And I was like, "Oh, what? Why would someone that?" Because True Green is probably a bigger company, probably one of the biggest in Utah.
Yeah.
If
Right.
not, you know, and there was like limitations like where they couldn't do things, and I was like, okay, I'll go find someone else, and then someone recommend something else, and they literally came through, did everything, and our lawn looked the best it ever looked last year.
Yeah.
Take care of your lawn. Have someone take care of your guys' lawn because that's it's the most beautiful thing that you'll have for a house owner. For a
So
homeowner.
are you saying screw True Green?
Yes.
No,
You talking smack on True Green?
Yes.
I just want to let them know. It's like
Forget
that.
True Green. Wait for that old white dude to come up and say, "Hey, do you need you need some shit sprayed on your lawn?"
Wait for someone to come knock at your door.
He'll get you nice.
Yeah,
He'll
yeah.
he'll do all of it.
Or are you gonna ask your retired Asian dad? He'll probably do something.
True with that.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah, actually, I should ask my dad.
yeah. He's like, oh, never thought
No,
of that
but-
as an option.
We do have we start opening up here. If you have any questions for us, we're more than willing to answer any questions, and then we can go into the last segment where it's called the Chef Special. We
Chef
ask just a
Special,
question where you know, it's just free game to the viewers or advice to anyone that's watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think like one of my biggest things for like you guys is like, I know like you found me like through Bobby, I guess, but like how was like that connection like made from like him to like me type thing? Was it just like he was, cause like me and him just kind of like randomly started working. Like he came to my first shop that was in like the apartment suite. So I've kind of always wondered like what he's like put so many people
Yeah.
onto me basically. So I just
So,
am like, what, like
I don't
just
know.
kind of like fill me in on like that.
So
gap
the
where
way-
I-
Bobby's just fucking
Bobby
cool.
is just the
basically,
go-to
yes.
guy for a lot of people. You know, like he's really popular, but he's such an introvert at the same time. He runs in our family.
Makes
We're all
him
kind of
more
like
cool.
that.
Bobby's that dude. I
Yeah.
would definitely say. I mean, I could probably speak for all of us. Bobby's that dude we look up to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Anything Bobby
And-
says, we're like, okay. Like,
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I would always ask
Goes
him
crazy.
questions. So like, you know, as a designer, I would always be like, yo, what does this look good? Or how is this?
Yeah.
And then I would go from there. It's like, all right, cool. What blanks are, you know, what blanks are people
Yeah.
using or what do you recommend? And then And then it goes to the last question. It's like, all right, who is killing shit right now? Who's doing stuff in the city that we can go to that knows what we need to do? And he's like, dude, Kobe. And I'm pretty sure he tells everyone the same thing because he probably gets that question asked a lot because he does do a lot of stuff for people.
Yeah.
And like for him to fill people in is just like, yo, Kobe is one of the dopest at it that's working out there right now.
Yeah.
And he'll do what you need to do and he'll help you figure out what you need to do.
Yeah.
Any questions that you need to design wise or anything like that, he can help answer. It's like, okay, this won't work or this won't. And it's because of I think with Bobby too is like more of a background thing, you know, it's like what you've been able to build for yourself. It kind of shows. And I think there's one thing of our family that we've been able to recognize is that when people are actually just doing their stuff and they're doing what they got to do, we're going to tell people great things about you, you know, and
Absolutely.
it's the same thing.
It never goes unnoticed.
And you've only done one, like just 2 pieces for me, but I can just say that how active you were with me and how like proactive everything was about the whole thing. He's like, yo, is this good? Or like, I was like, yes, that's what we need in this space. And you created a safe space for, you know, creatives that are trying to come up and do stuff and make us feel like, yo, we can do this. And with your help, you've been able to build this community. The community you didn't even know that was there, that we needed you more than we needed, you know? And that's where we get from Bobby. That's Bobby is truly inspiring a lot of people out there to do stuff that they want to do.
And he's so cool.
Yeah.
Bobby, you're so cool with it.
Bobby brought me the Gentle Persuasion white crew necks to do the tags. I sewed the tags on.
Yeah.
So I probably have an old DM during that time with your IG on it.
Really?
Like this is what, maybe 2022, 21?
Yeah, 22.
Whenever that
22.
the white and red one came out.
Yeah, like 22.
22.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago. And I was like, because I love that print. Like that's like literally one of my favorite crew necks. I wear that shit almost every week.
He wears it all the time.
All the time.
You're holding it when you're not wearing it.
Attached to it. I love it. I just love the stuff that Bobby does. But I really like the way the screen print felt on that one. And then obviously I helped him with the tags, so like it means even that much more to me. Because like I said, I look up to Bobby, right? So when he had asked me to do those tags, I was like, dude, for sure, like I got you. Like I'm gonna do that. I got you for sure. So, and then I remember like, bro, who did this? And he's like, I'm gonna send you his IG, and it was yours.
Yeah, and and like my first like actual like me like following your work and stuff wasn't through Bobby. It was through Lalo Bodega.
Oh, Bodega.
Yeah. So
Yep.
my cousin and Lalo were working on this stuff. Johnny. So they're working on stuff together at the first few ones, and then
that's right.
he had shared, I think the first T-shirt you did for them, it was like that Stussy print one.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shoot, where is this? Like it looks really good, and it's crazy to look at a shirt through like the internet
Instagram,
and be like, it looks really good because you never really know.
Right.
But for us, like when we look at screen printing online, it's like, you know, it could be like this, or it could be smoother, or it could be like, because a lot of places like when they show their work, it's like cracking still, or like, and they're just like, they just need to put it out. That's all they needed to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, man, that's really good screen printing.
Yeah.
And like even he said, it's like it's really good work. And you know, when I think it was maybe about a year later, I texted Bobby, asked him those questions, and then he was like, you need to go follow this guy. You need to go check him out. And then I went to check you out. And I was like, oh, wait, I know who he is.
Yeah.
I think it was like the problem was like back, I think it was like right after COVID or something, like not like 2022. It was more like, you know, COVID was still going around. I didn't really want to go out and like meet people yet.
Right.
And then, but I was just following your work since then.
That's crazy. That's one thing I've like realized is like the eyes are out there. People are constantly watching. People that like I didn't even expect to, I guess, like be on the radar. Like, they're like, yeah, we've been following you or this and that, and it's just crazy. That's why like I try to just pride in like every print. I want it to be better than the next or better than the last. You know what I mean?
Of course, absolutely, man.
Yeah, and it's been proven though. Once again, it's like what are you doing for us? And you know, you're honestly through all the creatives, you are the talk of the town.
Yeah,
like
we
literally have meetings of all the creatives,
crazy.
like the other local brands, and like everyone knows your name.
Dude, everyone knows
like,
Kobe. Oh yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
Oh,
That's
MC
still-
Provisions.
Yeah,
That's
That's
crazy.
so weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
people know me by like MC more than like my name, but that's still crazy. Than like
see,
they
and
saying
it's
that.
like when I say Kobe, they're like, "Who's that?" I'm like MC. They're like, "Oh, okay, yeah." So they put the two pieces together. It's like
when
okay.
you were doing MCP, did you do some jeans or pants,
Yeah,
sweats
like I
or
used to
something.
sew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, what?
Someone put me onto that.
Yeah.
Like $1 in a Dream Days, like before 2019 or during 2019, I believe is when
Probably, yeah.
we
I
were
made
probably doing some
some
pants
like
or something.
patchwork stuff,
Yep.
and then I had like some butterfly yellow. Yeah, I've done a few
Yeah, it's
things
crazy
like that.
how everything's like full circle. Like
It's all
coming together,
connecting all the
yeah.
dots. I'm like, you're saying MCP. I remember someone telling me something about MCP and some pants and something, and it's crazy, man. Wow,
For real.
this is nuts.
Full
Man.
circle. Yeah, small world, small lake
Small
city. That's
world,
what
Small
they
Lake
call
City.
it, for real.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, man. I guess the only last thing to do is we just gotta ask, man. What's your chef special?
Chef special is just don't take no for an answer, and like be like undeniably like great. Like do what you want to do. Like don't let anyone's perspective or like what they've been able to do like stop you. Like basically set your mind to something and
Tell
just
'em,
make
man.
it happen.
Tell 'em.
Simple as that.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. We love it.
Man,
We love it, man.
I am so happy that we were able to have you, come onto this episode because, like I said, I've been waiting for this one. I've been talking about this one for
Yeah.
quite a
Yeah.
while, just because your story and it needs to be heard, and people need to be able to know, like, truly, you can just do it, and you just need to figure it out.
Absolutely.
Find that person that can help you figure it out too, because everyone needs a support system that can get you through it.
Right.
That's for
Yeah.
sure. Yep.
Absolutely,
And
man.
I think your videos, everything you've been able to share, your story alone can like push a lot of people that are in that darkness and just get them out of it.
No, it really
Yeah,
is
I really
inspiring.
appreciate
Keep
that.
going, man.
Yes.
Keep going. Keep
Most
doing what you're
definitely.
doing. We're gonna have you back, man. We're
Yeah.
gonna
Do
be
it.
we're gonna
We
be
know
in
it.
that next fest.
Yep, we'll be working. We'll be
Yes,
working.
sir.
We're
This
gonna
is
go
just the
crazy.
start. Yep.
Yep. All
Yeah.
day with it, man. Well, shoot, man. If there's anyone you want to shout out, anybody at all, go ahead and do it right now, brother. Go
Shoot,
do
I'll
your thing.
shout out my family and my beautiful girlfriend Ariel Martinez. She's
Going
probably
crazy.
been the one that's seen the hard days more than the good days.
Yeah.
So
Shout
the
out.
fact that she keeps me going and keeps this train moving, like I definitely wouldn't be like in a place that I am without her. So like most of like I genuinely thank like her so much for like a lot of my
Going
success.
crazy, man.
Yeah, I always say every train needs a conductor, right? And so every woman in your life or significant other that you have, they're gonna get you through what you need to get through.
All day.
Simple as that.
All day with it, man.
But, man,
Episode 64, man.
Yeah.
MC Provisions off the menu. Kobe Cannon. Going crazy for y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys again.
Peace.
Peace out, y'all.
Be healthy obsessed.
Have a healthy obsession.
Have a healthy obsession. Don't make time for yourself.
What's up with you today, man?
Future and past. I don't know. It's fucking Monday, man. It's crazy.